All right, welcome to episode 43 of the Realtor for Hoopers interview series. My name is Adam Kemp, aka the Realtor for Hoopers. Today's guest is a published author and the head trainer at Vision Basketball Academy, Jae Taft.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Every time I flick the wrist, you can bet that it's a switch. Realtor for Hoopers, welcome to the main event. I'ma give the people what they ask for. Whole squad moving like a task force. We move with military precision, accomplishing any mission. In 2020 division, just don't see no competition, don't see no opposition. We on top of the game, we not one and the same. I'm Stephen Curry, the range, I Allen out with the cross. I'm Kobe Bryant, the fade, I'm one that's calling the plays. Now what else more can I say?
The story we start everyone off with is, tell us your basketball story.
Yeah, well, definitely came from a basketball family, coach's daughter. All my family played it. A lot of successful stories within my cousins and family. My sister, my brother plays. And then, I say it's in my blood. So grew up with it, but I definitely had my own journey with it. Classic story. I, played all the way through college. And I had a little ups and downs with basketball where I thought it was kind of over for me after college. And then the Lord was so kind and he gave me back basketball. And now I train full time, and I've been blessed to coach now in 3 or 4 different states, which has been cool. So basketball has brought me to some really cool places. I've gotten to meet a lot of cool people, gotten to do a lot of cool things with basketball on and off the court, which has been really, really cool.
Great.
And just trying to pave different paths of how you can, experience basketball.
Great. So going back to your story, kind of where did you grow up? Where did you play in college? Just give us a little details there. I grew up in Indiana. Okay. Not from there, but I grew up there. And then I played at Olivet, Nazarene for 2 years and then transferred to Southeastern University. And what levels are that?
D2.
Okay.
Yeah, D2. Okay, yep, D2. So I played there, and classic transfer story. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people are having those now where it's kind of no one stays for 4 years, or it's a rarity too. But I transferred out, and it taught me a lot for sure. Taught me a lot for sure.
Well, cool. Well, now you're working at Vision Basketball Academy as the head trainer. Yeah. So give us a little bit of information on kind of that Vision Basketball Academy as a whole.
Totally.
And then maybe part 2 of that question is kind of your strengths as a trainer and all that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So kind of the story behind that is I actually was training in California. I was living there at the time, and a childhood friend of mine just moved to Denver, and she wanted to start a training academy. And so she saw me doing it. So it kind of turned into weekly conversations of just holding each other accountable, being women in the space, because there's not a lot of women trainers, or even women who do it full time. I was doing it full time in California. And so Laura and I got to rekindle our friendship and really hold each other accountable and help each other through kind of struggles that you can have as a coach and a trainer, which is really cool. And then honestly, it's a very long story, but kind of one day the Lord was like, I want you to move to Denver and join forces with Laura. And that's what I did. So I think our very first call was in April, I think it was. And then I made the decision to move in October. And then 6 months later, I was in Denver. So it was a pretty quick transition, but it's been the biggest blessing to do that with her and join forces with her with something that she started here.
It's amazing. It's always fun to start a business with not only someone you have a great relationship with, but with a partner that you can, because it can be just such a grind.
Oh yeah.
And you can and you can build each other up when one of them's down, and then when things are going great, you're just hustling your butts off together.
100%.
And you can kind of have that little bit of a team mentality, even though it's sort of outside of basketball, the basketball context, as you're trying to run a business.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, then going back to the second part of that question, so maybe give us a little ideas, your strengths as a trainer. What do you feel if anybody's interested in your training, what are your calling cards that that people can count on?
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I think on the court skills, ball handling and decision making is one thing that I feel I'm pretty good at. I was a point guard 5'3", so not really much post action was happening. So I really, like I say, ball handling earned me my scholarship.
Yeah.
So I'm just very biased on how much you should be able to handle the basketball, right?
Yeah.
It gets you anywhere on the floor. So I would say like those types of skills for sure. And then obviously like decision making, different types of footwork into your shot, those kinds of things. So I would say like that's a huge strength that I carry as a trainer. And then honestly, I think the biggest thing is just the relationship with the girls. Because that's pretty much 99% of our clientele are women, which makes a lot of sense. But being able to like pour in to these young women as a woman who grew up in sports, I think is like a huge strength and something that honestly, I think I love the most of for training.
And and something we talked about in the past is I love that there are now more women trainers that can hone and build up the talent of women's players in the city. Because for a long time, and still a lot today, if you're a girl who loves to hoop and wants to get better, you got to be trained by a guy. And not that there's anything wrong with that and whatever, but there's just a connection
100%
woman to woman versus girl to guy or guy to girl and all that. 100%. So I think it's another resource that the girl players coming up have. And so I love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, like I said in the opening, you're a published author. So tell us about that book you wrote and kind of the heart behind it and why you wanted to put it out there.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I've always wanted to write a book. I never knew what I wanted to write it on. And then as like my faith journey like progressed, like I just knew how much I wish I had a relationship with the Lord more as an athlete than what I do now type of thing. Like I feel like he is my center now, but when I was an athlete, like this is kind of that saying like 1 foot in the world, 1 foot out. So I was just kind of like, what would I want? And there's a lot of journals that I have that are like prayer journals, like 30 prayers for blank, right? And then they give you a prayer and then it kind of guides you to you writing your own. So I was like, well, why don't I do that for athletes? So it's a 40-day prayer journal for athletes where I just tackle like 40 topics that us as athletes face. And I wrote a prayer about it. And then I give them a space to kind of like write their own prayer, but also it's a tool to encourage them to get in time with the Lord and like just talk to the Lord. And sometimes I think we have this thing where it's like, oh, I don't know what to say to him. I don't know what to, bring to him. And I'm like, well, just bring yourself, but also too, it's like, if you could get prompted, I'm like, oh, that's a good thing to pray about. I didn't even think about it. And I mean, there's some tough prayers in there that even it was like hard for me to write, like forgiveness for a coach that hurt you. And that's a big part of my story. Sure. And I know a lot of other people's stories, but it's like, hey, if like we're called to forgive, then that means I got to forgive the coach that really like hurt me. And I know a lot of girls and boys are going through that with, with their journey. So it was stuff like that. And there's also lighthearted topics in there, but it tackles a lot of different things.
That's really cool. I think, as Christians, we can it's so hard to sometimes just have practical advice, something that's like, oh, I can do that.
Totally.
Because it's, I think the biggest part that we all deal with is like, it's so hard just to open the Bible and start reading. And so when you have little practical prayer journals or little things like that, like I can wrap my head around doing that. And especially when it applies to a passion of yours, then it's like, oh, this is easy. I can do this versus like, okay, read Psalm 49.
Like digesting it. Like, what does this mean?
So I love it. So well, kind of getting into that a little bit deeper, like faith is just such a huge part of your life and your training business. And so I wanted to get your thoughts on, if you wanted to say anything more about your individual faith and your individual walk with God, and also like whether you follow you on social media or other things, you do not separate faith and your training. It is intertwined in every step of the way. Where I think it's very easy for people and trainers that are Christians and that are very strong people to separate those two worlds. And maybe they'll mentor a little bit and whatever, but it is like ingrained into your training business. So kind of, I know it's a long question, but try to like why that was so important to you versus just separating it out.
I would say, well, for me, it's kind of like what you're saying. If like Jesus is my center and what I revolve my day around, then why would I not revolve him in my training, you know? And so for me, like that's a huge part of my testimony is that like when I was an athlete, I just idolized basketball. It was like the only thing that I thought fulfilled me. Like it was my identity. It was like meeting me, you would know within 5 minutes, hey, I'm Jae and I play college basketball. Like I would let you know. And it's not, I'm not saying that being an athlete is something that you shouldn't be proud of, right? But it's, don't put it above your identity, who Christ made you to be. So that was like a big part of my story. So actually the Lord had to take basketball away from me to really prune me, mold me, like kind of like break me down to like build me back up to realize that my identity is in who he made me to be and what Jesus did on the cross for me and for all of us versus any stat that I put on the stat sheet, any points are scored, any wins or losses. Because at the end of the day, if you're going to put your identity in something that's going to be taken away from you, right, it will never fulfill you. And to my knowledge, the only thing that's never going to be taken away from you is Jesus's love for you. So that's where it's like, okay, well, if that's the only thing that doesn't fail me, then why not put my identity in it?
That's awesome.
So for me, when the Lord gave me basketball back and was like, he was very clear on, you're going to use this for my glory. So that's kind of why I say that I like spreading the gospel through an orange ball, you know? And I think that there's so many different ways to do that. It's not just like anytime a girl walks in the gym, I'm not like, have you heard of Jesus? You know what I mean? Which would be so fun, but like, that's not what I'm doing.
Sorry, that's great.
You know, it's like that meme where it's like someone's running. They're like, have you heard of my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ? And,
don't run from me.
Don't run from me. Like, it's not that at all. It's, it's super funny, but it's just like the relationships that I build with them and like genuinely caring about the girl. Like whether you're a believer or not, like I still care about you. It's not like that. So it's like, I hope that through my relationship with you and building that, you could trust me to come to me to talk about Jesus and I could give you that truth of what I believe. But also too, it's just about like living the kingdom way and shining the light of him, that like anytime someone has a conversation with me, I want them to feel the Holy Spirit and I want them to walk away feeling different. So it's those approaches and like even praying for my athletes on my off time, you know what I mean? And like, what ways can I serve them? Like what are fruits of the Spirit and how can I demonstrate them through my life? Those types of things. So I believe that does a lot of work in people and allow the Holy Spirit to move in their heart, but also, you know, when I need to obey, when he's like, hey, I need you to be bold and like talk to this person, then I obey and I talk even if it's scary. But that's where I would say I try to like balance that. But yeah, I mean, Jesus is the most important thing to me. So why would I not be bold and hide that? You know?
I think it's powerful, and I commend you for doing that because it'd be, as a lot of us know, it's very easy to kind of like, hey, I have my relationship with God, then I have my daily life. And the fact that you've fully committed to combining those things and everything that you do is very powerful.
Totally. Thank you. And that's like a big reason why I try to be bold, because I had that thought of like, why do we I think athletes do this in general, like relationship with Jesus or not, we have like our athlete life and then our off the court life. And I think it's healthy to separate the two at some points, but it's like, why would I not, like, you know, I mean, bring Jesus into both of those? And like, if I'm praying to him about problems I have off the court, why can't I, you know, bring the problems that I'm facing on the court too? So
that's amazing. Good for you.
Thank you.
Well, good. Well, now we got a little bit of a more fun question.
Let's do it.
Being from Indiana.
Yes.
And I just randomly thought of this. Larry Bird or Reggie Miller.
Okay.
Who has had a bigger impact on Indiana basketball?
Okay, I don't know.
Not that Indiana basketball needed any impact, because that is just part of the culture. But I'm just saying, like if you go to Indiana right now, who's the first that's had a bigger impact?
Honestly, I think that's hard to say because like I think they equally had an impact for sure. I will say that like I was more on the women's side of stuff. Like as much as like Larry Bird's cool or Reggie Miller's cool, I was very much about the Fever. So so like in my brain, like there was like like Tully, Tamika Catchings, Brianna January, like those are the girls that I was focused on. So it's probably not the best answer for your question, but it was like Steve Alford. Like there's a Steve Alford hotel like in the town I lived in.
Indiana University legend. So please, if you don't know.
And my family, my mom's side of the family are huge IU fans. So it's like all of the IU lore there, type of thing. But I don't know, like my brother is huge into Reggie Miller right now. He's in high school still, so like he's constantly posting about anything Reggie Miller. So I'd say him on my brother for sure. But Larry Bird, like, I don't know, they were just always in the same conversation growing up.
Yeah, for sure. No, I appreciate you taking the question how you wanted to answer it. I love it. I would say my answer to the question, I was going to kind of say my 2 cents is, I would say Larry Bird. The reason why I would say Larry Bird is because I think before Larry Bird came through Indiana, French Lick, Indiana, and then went to Indiana State and whatever. People kind of knew about Indiana basketball, but it wasn't like, oh, there's real hoopers in Indiana basketball. Like, do you know what I'm saying? He was the first guy that was like, oh, no, they can really, really play out there. So kind of, I want to say put him on the map, but it was like, from a national perspective, they're like, oh, we got, like, if they're creating guys like that out there, then that's something.
Then it's a good, it's a good thing. It's a good problem to have.
Yeah, for sure. So
that's good.
Well, good. Well, 2 more questions. And we've said a lot about your story during this interview, and whether you've said it or not, what is something that you want people to kind of take away from your story or take away from this interview?
That I think, one, never put your identity in something that be taken away from you, which is kind of what we talked about. But that's like the biggest thing that I just think is like so true. And then 2, like on the court, I just think the more you can embrace mistakes and failures, the better success you're going to have. I think we run into so many athletes that are so scared to make a mistake, whether that's they're afraid coach is going to pull them out, mom or dad's going to be mad, teammates are going to make a snarky comment, whatever that is, there's a lot of like negative thoughts that are like honing in on your brain that say, don't make this mistake, when in false, that's such a lie, where it's like, you can never be successful without failure.
Absolutely.
And really, like, is it failure?
Nope.
I think failure is if you like quit because you're upset about something. I think there's so much peace in, hey, I gave it my all, it's not for me anymore. I think that's important for us to confront as athletes. That's not talked about. I think if you quit the sport, you're a quitter, and that's not true at all. But yeah, I just say, like, don't let mistakes define you. I saw this really cool quote that I've literally like 2 days ago, and I've been like leaning into it with just all the other activities that I like to do. And it's like, kind of like embrace being a beginner again.
Wow.
So I was like, whoa, that's powerful. Cause it's like, at some point we were a beginner, whether that was like basketball or like, even if it's like learning a new skill, like you're advancing from middle school to high school or JV to varsity. It's like, it's still something new. You might be a beginner at that level. So just embrace it. So I've been taking that into my life with my surfing journey.
That's cool.
But just completely off of
that's awesome.
the court. But I'm like, yeah, this is cool. So
that's really cool. I think, going off of what you said, especially if you are any youth player coming up, if you are practicing, you should be trying to fail, quote unquote, fail. If you are missing shots or if you're doing something and fumbling the ball, that means you're getting better. That means you're doing something uncomfortable that you're not really good at. If you just keep on practicing the same things that you're good at over and over and over and over and over again, you may be honing that skill a little bit more, but you're not actually getting better. So if you suck at left-hand layups, shoot 100 left-hand layups every day. And you may only make 40, but then the next day you're going to make 43. You know, like just like don't be so concerned with the ball going through the hoop or all this stuff. Like, get better, be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yes, absolutely.
That's how you get better.
Absolutely.
So, well, thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, sometimes the last question is the hardest question to answer. Is what is your one favorite thing about basketball?
It's such a loaded question.
That's why it's a good question.
That's such a loaded, because there's so many things that are so great about it. I think it's the life skills that it teaches you, and taught me specifically. And like, there was like a lot of things where like I would work like random jobs and I would walk in there and literally guess, be like, I don't think anyone's played a sport in here. And I got it right.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, okay. Like I was just being sarcastic, but it's true. I think being an athlete teaches you so many life skills that you take off the court.
Absolutely.
So I would just say like everything that the game teaches you and how you can apply it to life and then pass those lessons down would be something that I take with me.
That's amazing. I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay, perfect.
Well, Jae, thank you.
Yes,
for your
of course.
time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks
I
for
love
having
your story.
me.
Keep doing what you're doing out here. It's going to make amazing impact on and off the court.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.
Every time I flick the wrist, you can bet that it's a swish. Realtor for hoopers, welcome to the main event.